1 second. Good morning. We are live streaming this event. This is our spring general PTO meeting. I am Meredith Akers. I'm the principal at Grinnell, and I'm going to turn it over to our PTO president, Jennifer Lee.
Yay! Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Lee, if you don't already know me. We are really excited that we have so many people here, and we hope that you will fulfill some positions for next year because we need the help desperately. We're going to have a lot of turnover in the upcoming years, so we just want to welcome you and hope that you sign up for something. If I could have the rest of the board come up here. Okay, we are going to go through the current board and which committees are underneath each person. So I am going to start over here.
Do I stand underneath my?
Oh, we want to, yes, please stand underneath your. Okay, so you can see on the top, Dr. Akers is the person who is the final decision maker on all things PTO related. And underneath Dr. Akers is me. And then underneath me is all these wonderful ladies up here, and they're going to tell you which position they're in and which committees they have.
Thank you so much. My name is Christy Holochek. For those who I don't know, I'm the VP of Major Fundraising. My main role is our fall fundraiser, which is the predominantly or exclusively online effort. And then the spring fundraiser, which we just did this past weekend, which was Spring Carnival and the silent auction. The two kind of main things that I have underneath me are major fundraising assistant. This is a new position for next year. We are hoping to garner some interest in my role in general. So it's an opportunity to kind of get a closer look at what fundraising is comprised of and help out with the fall and spring fundraiser. And then my carnival committee is a huge piece of the success that we're able to have every year. There are, I think, 7 or 8 positions, but then there's also opportunities where if you can't spearhead anything, you can be a part of the spring carnival committee and you can assist where needed as well. So there's lots of opportunities in major fundraising depending on what time you have. And I hope you'll be interested or consider us.
Hi, my name is Danielle Stein, and I'm in charge of hospitality, which is the teacher and staff events. I'm also in charge of the holiday party and end of year party. I have 2 committee heads that are underneath me, and that's what it is.
Hi, my name is Shavana Ali. I'm the Vice President of Minor Fundraising. I have 2 committees under me. One is for Spirit Nights and one is for Spirit Wear. I also am in charge of the school supplies, but usually I just ask my committee heads to just help me out a day or 2 to help distribute the school supplies, so it doesn't really require any additional assistance outside of logistics. But I do have Spirit Nights, which I haven't had a committee head for before. I've had one a couple years ago, but it would be nice to have somebody to just help plan Spirit Nights. There's just a lot of emailing. It's great for somebody who would like to do things remote because it's mostly a lot of communication with vendors and businesses, creating relationships with people. And so it's great for people who need a remote option. And then there's also Spiritware, which is also heavily remote aside from distributing the Spiritware to the classrooms, which really is just a day. It takes a couple hours and you can pick the day. So again, very flexible. Attendance is not required on exact days. It's more up to your schedule. So those are the 2 things, and I would love your help.
I'm Erica Zelenak. I'm VP of Membership and Classroom Parents. And under me, I have a membership and room parent committee head, and that person is basically, if you were interested in my position, that would be a good position for you to try to determine whether or not you like all of the responsibility, and then also to learn the position so that when it's time to transition, you would be ready for it. My position is actually open this year. I will not be rerunning next year. And so while my position is open, you would have had to have been a committee head to run for a board position. So that's something to kind of keep in mind if you're wanting to be on the board in some time while you're at Grinnell. So a committee head position is the way to go first. If you, well, volunteer first. And then I'm also in charge of all of the room parents, and then above the room parents, I have committee heads that help me with each group of room parents. Committee heads ideally are K through 5, one for each grade level. Sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. And so my committee head would actually help where there isn't a grade level coordinator. And I would also love a grade level coordinator for like our SPED population. We don't have that, but there's a lot of teachers and a lot of paras that we would love to support. And we had one last year who was great. We didn't get one this year, so that's something also that's available. And then also the 5th grade party committee head. This could potentially be 2, maybe even 3 people, because we found that typically something happens every year to one of them. So it's not, no, it's just sometimes things happen. And so it's nice to have a backup because it's such a big job that for one person it's a lot. It's a lot. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Lisa Wong. I am the VP of in-school support. My first primary is to be the liaison between PTO and teachers and staff and getting them the supplies that they need for requests, whether it be grade level things or science resources. So I do have an assistant. They're not over a committee or anything, but I do have an assistant that helps me to get the supplies to school, help order things and things like that. So that's a really easy job. If you're looking for some way to step up and help out more, that's a fun way for you to help. I also oversee the spirit shop, which takes place once a month, where we sell the Rennell items, the school supplies, toys, fidgets, and stuff like that. That's more of an intense role, since you have to be there from the start of the spirit shop to the end, with 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., so it's a lot. But it's once a month, so hopefully I can get some people that are interested in helping me with that. I'm looking for 1 to 2 people for that. And then I oversee the yearbook committee. And I am hoping for 2 advisors to help kind of fill the role of Ms. Corey, who's leaving us. I'm looking for someone who's had previous yearbook experience to be over the admin type part of it, getting it situated and started up again. And then someone more on the creative side. So if you have a design background or interested in helping us do layouts and designs, then that would be perfect for you as well. So those are the committees that I am over.
My name is Valerie Rodriguez, and I'm the volunteer coordinator. I have 1 person under me who is the library coordinator, which takes a lot of scheduling, especially since this year is so different with our librarian. I also help with gathering volunteers for picture day or hearing and vision screening, or just yesterday, I think I sent out an email for signups for being certified to become a screener. So any extra help that the teachers need volunteers for, or anything like that, they'll reach out to me.
Last minute things that we reach out to.
The last minute things, those, because all of these ladies are booked with their things, that's what I do. I pick up all the little bits and help out with that. So.
Hello, my name is Heather Julius. I'm the communications coordinator. I'm just in charge basically of the website, graphics, flyers, do a lot with social media, along with these other board members, and I don't have anyone underneath.
Hi, I'm Ashley Waite. I am the programs coordinator. So I head up some of the different programs at Rennell, and I have a committee head that helps under me for each of those programs. So the programs that I head up are the Science Resource Center. So that's where animal demos happen for each grade level throughout the year. The PEMS committee, that's PE, art, and music. We help support those programs at Rennell with things like field day, the grade level musicals and shows that they do with music, and so on. Junior achievement, so each class has a parent volunteer rep that goes in and teaches a civics lesson, and so we have a coordinator that helps with communication for that. And the garden committee, so our wonderful Ready to Grow garden has someone who helps keep it thriving and coordinates volunteers to come out for those garden day events for the grades.
Perfect. All right, and I'm the treasurer. I actually, later in the presentation, you'll see my position is up for re-election too. So if anybody has a finance background or likes to, balance checkbooks and budget, feel free to run against me. You want it? No, but I have one committee head under me. It's corporate sponsors, so it's a fairly new kind of program that we've started, and I'll walk you through it in a future slide. But we're looking for a committee head for that as well.
That's Nikki Miller, by the way. I'm Kaylin Enderby, and I'm the secretary, so I arrange and organize our monthly PTO board meetings, and then besides that, I oversee the philanthropy committee, which deals with our adopted school, Emory, as well as penny wars, and anything like that that comes up. And next year will be my last year at Renell, so my job is up.
As you can see, we have so many great helpers. We put lots and lots of hours into it. So even if you can't be a committee head or a board position, it's very important that we appreciate any help that you can give us. If it's an hour of your time, maybe once a month, that still is important to us. Because as you can see, there's lots of different things that go into the PTO. So thank you guys. Okay, so we're going to go through a little bit more detail of each position that is available. So first, we're going to start with the board positions, then we'll go over the committee head positions, and then the volunteer appreciation at the end. Okay, so our open board positions for this coming up school year is the treasurer, which is Nikki, and VP of membership and room parents, which is Eric. And we'll go over this.
Perfect. Okay, so I spoke a little bit about it, but here's a little bit more detail in terms of the treasurer. So for a board position, it's going to be a 2-year term, so this is no different. On average, in terms of time commitment, I would say maybe 3 to 5 hours a week. It really depends. It could be, you know, when we were planning the spring carnival, for example, there's a lot of reimbursements that have to happen, or, you know, just kind of coordination of payments. There's going to be monthly sales tax reports. There's going to be annual tax filings, like an annual financial report. It feels a little daunting, but honestly, if anybody's interested, I have been doing this for a while. I would be happy to help you kind of figure this out. I'm happy to do it again, but I'm happy to pass it along if someone's interested in it. It's fun, you know, it's something, I would say it's good for someone who, like me, I work from home, so I'm able to do it from my computer. A lot of it's remote. We've set up a lot of processes where reimbursements are sent to me via like the Google Drive, and so I can just get all the paperwork there. We send payments via like Zelle or Venmo. So a lot of it can be done remote. I would say the vast majority of it. We do plan the budget at the beginning of the year, so that's a meeting with the president, with Dr. Akers, and we kind of just make sure that everything makes sense and distribute the budget. And so I would say it's not a terrible time commitment. 3 to 5 hours a week is probably legit. You will have a committee head under you, corporate sponsorship. I'll go through it in a future slide, but if you're interested at all, this sounds like something you even want to explore for future years, feel free to let me know, and I'll walk you through it.
Okay, and my position is also up for election, except I will not be running again. So it's open. So the term length is 2 years, and the first year you will be figuring it out, and then the second year you will be making it better, hopefully making it better the first year. But the skills needed, really, it's strong communication skills, because you are kind of serving as a liaison between PTO and Dr. Akers and then everybody else. And so being able to communicate with all of the committee heads that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and then just making sure that things are happening, overseeing all of it. My main responsibilities, so we have the annual PTO drive, which starts in, really I'm starting already planning that, and then it goes until October. So that's happening, and then after that we have, and then right before school starts, you're gonna reach out to grade level coordinators and just start planning all of those positions, and then committee heads. I'll begin reaching out to people next month once we get some feedback of who wants those positions. reaching out to those people, and then also for the ones that don't sign up, then you just start reaching out to people you know to try and get them to take the position, because we really do need all these positions filled. And then at the beginning of the year, we do our classroom parent selection. And so it says 10 to 20 hours per week. Sometimes it's more than that. So when we're doing the selection of classroom parents, you just understand that at the very beginning, like that is kind of all day for 2 weeks. Just trying to figure out that people are placed where they need to be, and everybody has to, and there's a lot that goes into it. So, but then there's some time, like right after Christmas, I would say to March, where you kind of get so the 10 to 20, like, I don't want to scare you, but also there are just busier times throughout the year. And then we have field day. So once we get done with room parents, we move on to field day to start getting that stuff ready. And that's why we have a committee head that helps with all of that. Because also while that's happening simultaneously, there's 5th grade committee that also starts at the very beginning of the year, because that's a huge fundraising effort for the 5th grade party. That's in May. And that starts, I think, at Meet the Teacher, right? When we provide all of the information to the 5th grade parents who are coming in. And then I also work with hospitality to coordinate the volunteers for hospitality plans, the end of year party and the holiday party. But then we work with, we do all of the volunteer rotations and that sort of planning. So Danielle and I will get together and she tells me what she needs, and then I'll organize that so that everybody is where they need to be on the day of the holiday party and the field day party. And then, of course, 5th grade party. And 5th grade party, we call it a 5th grade party because it's this huge effort to have the 5th grade party, but really a 5th grade party is the fundraising and all of the, it's the organization, it's the facilitation of the party, and then the organizing and raising funds to have the party. So it's more than just the party. Let's see. And then those are all my committees. So membership and room parent committee head, who really oversees all of the grade level coordinators. And then we have the grade level coordinators, and then 5th grade committee is like completely separate. So they're over here, room parents are over here, and then you have also membership drive, which doesn't have a committee, but that this committee head helps with all of it.
And we'll be staying after if you have any questions. And you want to talk to Erica, you're interested or maybe. Okay, so the organizational chart we went over already, but as you can see, there's only 2 positions up for re-election next year. The following year, I think it's pretty much the whole board. So we really need people to step up and come into these leadership roles so that we do continue to have a legacy of a great PTO at Grinnell Elementary. And that would be Dr. Akers' vision as well. Okay, we're going to come up and talk about the committee heads. Please, we're going to kind of shorten it to 1 to 2 minutes just so that we're not giving too much detail.
Hi, so again, I mentioned this is a new role, but again, like many of us has mentioned, this is a great place to start. If you're interested in maybe being on the board, you want to know what it looks like to take a bit more on, you have a bit more flexibility, the assistant major fundraising would be a great place to start. We're really, again, just looking for an opportunity for you guys to see what it's like to kind of plan out the events. It is extremely rewarding. I cannot express to you how grateful I am that I get to represent a board that has a school the way that we do. The teachers, the admin, everyone is so supportive of what we do at Grinnell, and very few times have we ever had an idea and they tell us no. If it supports the students and it supports the teachers, generally speaking, the school is going to support us as well. And it is incredibly rewarding to see the kids' faces, to know that we're able to support all of these things that we've talked about are funded by PTO. And that's another thing that I think a lot of our population doesn't understand. Things like field trips, That's not something the district gives us money for. It's not something that the state gives us money for. It's something that we think is critical for our students' experience. So we're gonna go out and fundraise, and that's what I get to do, and it's really rewarding. So again, I'm not gonna read this, you guys can read. If you're interested in getting a deeper look into PTO board and what that entails, this would be a great role for you. It does say assistant. If there's more than one person and more people, have an opportunity, I welcome that as well. So don't think it's a one-person thing. And then the next one is my carnival committee. Again, this is one of the most exciting things I get to do. I love a good event. I love to see the students and the kids smiling. I love the dunk tank. I love it all. So this is a great place to be. Again, if you like event planning, if you like putting on these types of things, there's lots of different roles you can fill. And again, these have coordinators, but if you are interested, if you're like, shoot, I cannot take on being the vendor coordinator, but I can help that person, please feel free to indicate interest on the application and just write a little note. Like, I can't own this, but I want to support the effort. And again, as Jen mentioned, we will take an hour a month. Like, everything that you guys can offer is something that we are willing to take, because we know you want to give back to your students just as much as we do. And we want to honor that in whatever way you're able to do that. And if that's 1 hour a month, I love it. If it's 1 hour a week, awesome too. So don't feel like, I don't have as much to offer that I think someone else is. We welcome any level of commitment. So that's me.
Okay, so for hospitality, I have two committee heads, and they help me out. Okay, so committee heads are 1 year-long commitment. The time commitment for that, hospitality takes a lot of time. It all depends on the event that we do each month. There is at least 15 teacher and staff events. And depending on what we come up with for that month, depends on how long it's going to take to do it. The day of the event, it could be a grab and go, where they just grab whatever the treat that we have out, or it could be a lunch where it's from, let's say, 9:30 to about 2:30, because you have to set up, and then we also serve and stay there and hang out with the teachers and show our appreciation, and then we clean up after. So it all depends on the month and what we come up with for that month. So it can be a lot and it can be not so much. So the months that would be a lot would be December. December is going to be a big month because I'm also in charge of the holiday party for the entire school. So not only that, I put on 3 events that month as well, which are for the teachers and staff. And then April or May, depending on Teacher Appreciation Week, I also do 3 events for the teachers and staff. And then like this year in May, I'll be doing 3 events for the teachers and staff. I also have the end of year party for the entire school, and then we do an end of year breakfast for our teachers and staff. So I'll have 5 events. It's a lot, but you can plan ahead for a lot of it too. So at the beginning of the year, I sit down with my committee heads and we say, what do we want to do for this month? This month, this month, this month, and we can plan ahead and create whatever it is that we need to do to get ahead. So skills needed, organization, attention to detail, creativity and craftiness. We do a lot of crafty things, and the presentation, whenever the event is there, we do a setup. So it takes time and creativity. Responsibilities, planning and executing monthly teacher events. Like I said, there's at least 15. And then I have the holiday party and end of year party. I also have a band that we put out a lot of the signups for volunteers. Usually a committee head's in charge of that. And then we also do like National Education Appreciation Day. So National Nurse Day, Principals Month, which is October. So those are extra on top of the 15 teacher and staff, plus the holiday event, plus the end of the year. My band right now has 97 volunteers. Not everyone reaches out, but I mean, it's a big committee. So if you're needing something, you post in there and people, I mean, the spots get filled up real fast. Or like if you're needing something, people do reach out, so you do get the support. But like I said, I have 2 committee heads. Next year will be my last year, so my position will be up. I would like for next year, one of my committee heads to be someone who takes over so that they can be underneath me. They can, figure it out with me, go along month to month, figure out, the spreadsheets. I do get a budget, so, you have to plan out accordingly. And they could just be like my assistant, and I can show them the way for their first year, and then they take it on. Go from there.
Right. Next, we have Shimon.
All right, I already kind of talked about this in the intro, so the information for the Spirit Wear committee head is on there. You just have to help me. Again, I'm also like the committee heads that I have, I'm still working with you. I'm doing all the emailing, I'm talking to Andy. You're not responsible for it all. It's working with me. It's just my staff help. The thing that I really do need the most help with is just logistics, like distributing the Spirit Wear. We get hundreds and hundreds of orders, people love shirts. So it's just, if you like to come into the school for an hour and you want to help me deliver shirts, you get to pop into a kids class usually, deliver some shirts, and I mean, you do have to be kind of organized and not miss up the orders, but that's about it. It's just it's really easy and fun. You can read small, match it with your kid's name, you're good to go. And then if you want to help design, that's great too, but again, it's not all your responsibility. I just need a little help. Spirit Guide, same thing. Again, I'm coordinating them all. I already have contacts with several vendors. You're not responsible for all of that. It's just, it would be nice to have a little help, like, hey, maybe trying a new Spirit Guide, maybe contacting a new vendor. So if that is all interests you, you don't have to do it all. You don't have to be responsible for everything, but you could just help me. And it would be a great way to get your foot in the door. And it is really fun. People love supporting Renell, and it's fun to make those connections. So let me know if you're interested.
Okay, one thing I want to say though is I don't want to scare anyone off by telling you hours and things like that. How many board members have a part-time or full-time job? So this is not, we're not asking you to make this your full-time job, just so that you know. 1 or 2 hours a month would even be helpful. Okay.
Change. Okay. Yes, I kind of went over all of this. The committee heads, the term is 1 year. Again, we're looking for somebody who would potentially be interested in doing this job because then you're learning how to do it, versus coming in cold. Responsibilities begin as soon as school starts, but realistically we'll meet before school starts. And I say we, but it won't be me. It'll be whoever replaces me. So we'll meet before school starts to plan out what the expectations are and everybody's role and responsibilities. This job is pretty remote. You're doing a lot of emailing, but you do have to show up for the holiday party and the end of year party. Like you have to be there. We need you to be able to commit to that. So that's usually the day right before the end of school for the holiday break, and then the last day of school. So if you know that you typically duck out early to go out of town, I know some families do that, it's fine, but don't sign up for this job because we need your presence on those days. And then my grade level coordinators, same thing, this is a year position, obviously because ideally you're the grade level coordinator for your child's grade, but this year we had one who that wasn't the case, and that was totally fine, and it worked out because Nobody else was interested in also in the position. And so, it's 1 year, and again, this is also mostly remote. You're gonna be sending emails, communicating with your room parents. You have a spreadsheet that you have to keep up with. But we need you at the room parent welcome meeting so that room parents can meet you ideally. And then we need you at the end of year party and the holiday party too. And we need these people here, and sometimes things happen, and I understand that, but it makes it more difficult, and then it puts more on everybody else because we're having to cover for you. So that's why I just want to stress that. And then 5th grade committee head, this is a 1 year responsibility also. You should have a 5th grader. Okay, so next year, if you have a 5th grader, then you should have a 5th grader, and you are planning this party. I don't want to scare you away. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, but just like some other people have said, we already have like a whole system in place, and we have the contacts of who you contact for the decals and the yard signs and the shirts. So it's just a matter of fulfilling those orders, communicating on Facebook so that people know what's coming, like what's available. You're not necessarily communicating via email with the parents. We kind of give that role to the VP because sometimes it can be a lot. But you are organizing and facilitating the 5th grade fundraising, and you are organizing and facilitating the 5th grade party. Creativity is great, but like I said, so much of it is already in place, so you don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel if you don't want to, but you get to design the 5th grade shirt. That's new. The memory book is like your full design. So we do need creativity, organization, and like basic budgeting, because again, you have a budget.
Okay, yearbook advisor.
Okay, so this year we're looking for 2 advisors to kind of fill a big hole that we have with Corey leaving us. But again, you're working with a team, you're working with myself, you'll have, another 2 advisors to work with you. In the beginning, it's a couple of hours a week because you're setting up the shop, you're getting it together, and then they increase. Once we get our photos uploaded, that's when we hit the ground running. So from January to March, that is the biggest time commitment that you will need for a yearbook. We're looking for people that have worked yearbook before, you have experience in digital print design, you're efficient with Excel uploading, keeping track of a lot of orders and kids' names and all these things. So if you've had previous experience, great, that's who we're looking for. We divide out our committee into 3 subcommittees, so each advisor will be over a committee, and we're walking you through everywhere. So if your background is more towards admin time, we have a role for you. If you are more of a designer, then we have a role for you. So if you're interested at all, come see me or Corey, and we'll get you more information. Spirit Shop. So 1 year commitment to required attendance is obviously the actual day of shop from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For this role, I'm looking for someone who has volunteered at yearbook before, because you need to know what all goes into Spirit Shop. We have one last shop on April 25th, so if this is something you're interested in and you haven't volunteered before, I encourage you to volunteer, and we can work with you, show you the ropes, get you to see just what it is we do. I'm looking for people who are creative and very much organized and keep track of, we have hundreds of items. Sometimes we have 40 different items in our shop. So that's a lot that we have to keep track of. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. And you'll also have to coordinate with our band members. We have 100 in there, 50 usually active members. So you'll help set up the shops for a Spirit Shop. And if you're interested in that, you can come see me and I can help talk you through that.
All right, Science Resource Center Coordinator. This person ideally would be able to be trained on all of the demos that we have at Grinnell. So throughout the year, there are 14 different times where kids have a demo. So 2 per grade level. And so if you could attend those trainings, they're put on by the SRC, and they usually occur during the fall, during the day. So that would be great if you could be trained, because then I'd be trained and you'd be trained, and we'd all be trained together. And we can fill holes as needed, because we do have a lot of enthusiastic parents that volunteer, but we want to make sure these demos can go off without a hitch. So if somebody needs to step in for a demo for a grade level one day, you or I could do it. So, go back to the mic, sorry. I just wanted to make sure I covered everything. So yeah, and then we would help with the band and just sending out messages and coordinating the parent volunteers. The PEMS committee head would help just stay in touch with our PEMS teachers, emailing them kind of like quarterly, like, hey, what's up? Do you need anything? Can we help you with anything? What do you have on the horizon that you need volunteers for? Things like that. So just having those communication skills to be able to reach out to the teachers and make sure that they have what they need. The PEMS coordinator also heavily helps with field day. The coaches do most of the serious planning and purchasing and things like that, but you are sort of a day of coordinator, making sure that everything goes off without a hitch. JA committee head would help with the junior achievement program, sending emails out to parent volunteers, reminding them to get into the classrooms and lead those civics lessons. This person, just like Jumana mentioned, all these committee head positions work with the board member that they're under. So like if you're not off on your own trying to lead this program, you're working with me and making sure that everybody has questions answered if they have them, and is staying kind of on top of those lessons, because there are 5 JA lessons that occur throughout the year for every classroom at Grinnell. So we just want to make sure volunteers are staying on top of it. And then the garden is the last committee. And so the garden committee head would just, again, make sure parent volunteers are signing up and coming up for their grade level garden days. They would also make sure that that garden stays thriving. So ideally they would have a green thumb, a little bit of gardening knowledge. That's not me, so hopefully they can keep plants alive. Understand like watering schedules and things that every time my committee head brings up this year, I'm like, wow, mysterious plants need things. And covering the garden if a freeze is coming and things like that. So if you have the availability and the enthusiasm to make sure that our vegetables and herbs and flowers and things stay alive, that would be awesome.
Okay. So a little bit about corporate sponsorship. So I had mentioned earlier, it's a fairly new fundraising kind of silo for us. A couple of years ago, we identified that we really were untapped in like local businesses, because there's so many businesses who want to sponsor a school, they want to have a plaque on their wall, you go into those businesses and see it, and we realized it was a completely untapped market for us. So we kicked it off a couple of years ago. It's still very new in terms of like the processes that we've created. We're kind of like limping along as we try to figure it out. And I think part of it is because we don't have a committee head. So this year, a few of us have just kind of been tag teaming it. We have a handful of corporate sponsors that year after year have been like steadfast in committing to sponsor us. So some of it is business as usual. It's not terrible, but I think there's still so much. This could be a huge fundraising silo for us if we focused on it. It could take so much pressure off of our other fundraising efforts, or just add to it. Like it's just, the sky's the limit here. We just don't have the bandwidth to do it right now. It's a 1-year commitment. I would say maybe 1 to 2 hours a week. Ideally, we would identify this person and we work together, me and whoever this is, over the summer, like canvassing businesses or creating a web pager. So anytime we take our kids to the doctor or the dentist, or we go get orange leaf, we hand the flyer or the QR code and just kind of get our name out there. So I don't think it would be terrible in terms of time commitment. There is organization and logistics after the fact, because as part of sponsorship, we commit to putting sponsor names on the back of field day shirts. We've got to get the logos, we have to pass it to the coaches to put it on there. there are gifts that we give out, like thank you gifts, including a plaque. So we need to coordinate ordering the plaques and putting them together. But all in all, I mean, it's on a spreadsheet. We tag team it. We all work together. We work with Heather, communications coordinator, to get things posted online. So I would say the biggest piece is just tapping into what's untapped right now and just growing this program. So if that's something that's interesting to you, reach out to me about it. We'll talk about it.
All right. If you like to give back to your community, then the philanthropy committee is for you. I ideally would like 2 people to work with me. Like I said, if our primary role is we facilitate everything that we do for our adopted school. That includes, next year it will include a breakfast or lunch in the fall and the spring. So that's going to be the bulk of the day, because we do, like we do at Renell, we like to stay and serve. And surprisingly, they have an even longer lunch period than we do. I think they don't even end until 2:15. So that's going to be a long day. I think this year we did a breakfast in the fall, so that one wasn't as long, but that's something we'll work out. 1 meal each semester. Big thing we've done this year is we've wanted each grade level to feel a connection, so we've had them exchange letters. Valentine's for K through 2. 3rd and 4th are going to do star encouragement letters. 5th grade is going to write good luck next year letters to each other, and they're going to exchange them. So it might be, hey, could you drive to Emory and drop these off and pick theirs up? So, you know, it's not always, we got to sit here and do it. And then the other big time commitment is our penny wars. You will have to be there every morning for the week that we run penny wars, because that is nuts. I mean, the kids just come off the bus with their bags of coins and they want to dump them. So you just have to be there for about 30 to 45 minutes. So even if you work, if you could have the flexibility to go in late, you can do it. You don't really have to have any previous experience or creativity. Organization is helpful. But again, I'm very involved in it, so you're going to be working with me. And I think that's really it. I can answer any questions if you have them.
We didn't put them on there.
That's okay. We're all very busy and we will correct that. All right, and so our last thing is just appreciation for our volunteers. We couldn't do this without you guys. We couldn't do it without board members. As you can see, there's going to be a big turnover in the next couple of years, and so we need some people that are willing to be leaders and who really want to help make Renell what it is today, or better. All right, thank you for your time. Please take some refreshments. Yes.
Was there a library one? Did I miss it?
Yes, that's under me, but we have somebody in the library position right now.
My friend just left, she was like, can you take a picture of it? And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm still in my position, so, but yes, that is the library coordinator is the position that you said. All schedules.
Okay, after next year, how many people are leaving? Raise your hands. Yeah. So that is gives you a visual.
A lot of us are aging out. It's not like
We're not leaving because we want to. We're leaving because our kids are home.
So I need you guys, everybody else in the room. I can't run the school without all these wonderful volunteers, so that's why we're kind of giving everybody a heads up, we're trying to. Yeah, turnover's coming and we need support.
So if you have young children, we need you. Please take some refreshments. We have a lot of extras. We're going to stay here if you want to talk to any of us about our positions or our committees. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you want one of the board forms, I printed some if you want to run for the 3 positions that are open. That was at the beginning. The board positions that are open are president-elect, vice president of membership and class parents, and treasurer. Those forms are available. I'm also going to put them in the Red Hawk Reader this week, but just, you have them. Thank you.